You got to mute your end.
Good morning, Voodoo. How are you?
Good morning to all our Chubby Cats fans in the house.
Oh my gosh, the drama never ends, eh?
Golly, it's like Twitter. Twitter can be like middle school. Um, it's just absurd. But
uh, the good thing is
good man.
sentiment does feel like it's changing. As soon as number starts going up, the sentiment does. It's amazing how fast the Twitter sentiment changes. The moment we get a couple green days, it goes crazy.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the NFT green days are typically a little bit delayed from the DeFi green days. So, typical cycle. We're talking about these cycles. I see Bitcoin goes, then the alts go, DeFi runs, and then everybody, once they're back in profit, they feel like, oh, I can spend some money again. And then typically NFTs go on a crazy run. So, because I saw some people posting, oh my gosh, the market's up, but Phantom NFT volume is like abysmal right now. And I would tell you, it's just because people are finally starting to see their accounts go back up a little bit. So just give it some time. But yeah, I would much prefer it going up versus going down. So very excited, very
No, absolutely.
hopeful we break through that 48,000 resistance level. And because I think it's a 200-day moving average is right around 48,000. So we break through that and hold it. Some good things for the alts. So
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like anything today, just with the whole geopolitics going on, it feels like anything now just legitimizes crypto anymore. I've been seeing it was beautiful to see when the Ukraine Russia stuff started popping off right away. It was Ukrainians fleeing to Bitcoin because of the money system going on, and now you're seeing with Russia accepting Bitcoin for energy, like it is that beautiful nature of like this is anybody's money. This money doesn't get to pick sides. There is no political sides to this money. This is for everybody, and I think that is massive in legitimizing this going forward.
yeah, I think a couple good books that I read on Bitcoin mostly, but just on cryptocurrency, just talking about the morality of money.
Mm,
And I come from my spiritual background. There's a verse about the love of money being the root of evil. And so a lot of people say, well, money is neutral. Money is neutral. And I've always been taught that is like money is
mm,
just like anything, it's neutral. But the thing is, the systems that create money are not neutral. The systems that create money and that control our money when it's controlled by a government are not neutral at all. So what I choose to do with it is up to me. And so it's neutral and it's meaning to me. But then what I love about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is it actually is neutral. It's, it doesn't care about, who's in office, who's not, which taxpayers voted for it or not. So yeah, man, uh, that's a lot of what, got me so hooked on this space. So obviously we spend most of our days just talking NFTs and DeFi. But the bigger picture of this is, it's truly something I believe in, which is what brought me here. So
yeah, and I mean the problem with number go up is you start to have the wolves and the foxes come into the space looking for their scams and stuff. And I'm actually like currently reading an article uh, talking about GameFi. Axie's Infinity just went through a massive hack. Uh, the Ronin network that it's on, so I guess it's like a layer two that the game moved to when Ethereum fees were just too ridiculous, has been exploited for $625 million. One of the largest exploits in crypto history so far.
so is that exploit just like straight through the Axie Infinity game?
Yeah, so
Because
it's
I'm assuming that's
we're
most of what's on that network.
so it's saying the gaming focused Ronin network announced Tuesday a loss of over 625 million.
Wow.
An attacker used hacked private keys in order to forge fake withdrawals.
Wow.
But yeah, 173,000 Ethereum and 25 million in USDC gone.
That's a lot of money. It's a
Well, it gets
large
interesting
amount
when
of
you
cash.
see, these large exploits typically are on these like layer twos. We've seen there was a big the Poly network exploit for 800 million that happened a few months ago. This is the big one. Um, Now this gets interesting when you think about, does that cause a lot of that GameFi money to move elsewhere?
Yeah.
Because Axie
Well,
had a ton of the GameFi market.
I think there's a big, and let's kind of get off topic so we can kind of end it with this, but I think that there is a big issue for Ethereum and all of our networks that are going to be relying on layer twos. Like every network on layer twos is the centrality of the layer two networks compared to the layer one. It's typically way more central, which also allows for a lot more security risk. And so, I was listening to an Avax chat with a bunch of the guys that we've been hanging out with, and they were talking about the subnets and how that is what they believe is going to be AVAX's huge advantage in the future. But the concern is, you go from having a bunch of nodes protecting the system to it could only be one node on a subnet. And so you think you're interacting with the security of AVAX, but you're really interacting with the security of one person. So it is a very interesting, that's kind of the dilemma, right? Speed versus centrality, security, all these things. So,
Yep.
but I do agree with what you're saying, and I've seen the massive influx of GameFi projects to Phantom just popping up on Twitter this
Mhm.
week, like racing games and games with tokens, like all types. I mean, obviously, I think the Tank Wars were first, and now it's like every other day I'm seeing a game that looks fully developed. They'll show video clips. I'm like, this looks amazing. So I wonder if that's what's happening, is that people are waking up to the fact that we don't have to build these projects and launch them on a layer two on Ethereum. And so I think AVAX and Phantom are going to benefit highly from that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And Avax now just went through their Avax Summit, and there were some massive announcements coming out of that one. To be honest, sitting back, having watched both our Phantom Developers Conference and the Avax Summit, I can't lie, that Avax Summit was super exciting. I mean, Grimes coming out and announcing that she's dropping a massive NFT project through Avalanche. That is a that is a big one. Um, they have a new wallet that's coming out for Avax that's supposed to interoperate with everything that's way better. So there, Avax looks great, and especially with the gaming industry, it seems to be moving onto that
Yeah.
chain fast and furious.
Well, I mean, I saw one post, save the image. I need to share it, but I think it was $25 million that their foundation is doing towards onboarding NFT projects, especially in the GameFi sector. And so, that is, I wish the Phantom Foundation would take that same approach and mindset. You've said this a lot, that what brings users like in the masses to a network will be these things, will be NFTs, will be GameFi. I mean, you can literally just for one NFT or one game bring over thousands of users. You get those thousands of users in the network, then they go to DeFi. And so we already have them coming for DeFi. So if we, it's kind of like if you got a canoe with two oars or two paddles, you only got one in the water. That's kind of what we have. We're onboarding to DeFi, spending tons of money and resources on the DeFi side, and then the NFT arm is just chilling. So we're just going in circles.
Yeah,
Versus, I think Avalanche is kind of getting both going, and so uh, good on them. And also, I think it's a good challenge for Phantom to kind of step up the game there.
I am glad you brought this up because somebody mentioned on my Twitter feed today. They brought up the Avax GameFi incentives, and Phantom has them. The issue is they're so ridiculous. It's like DeFi numbers. Like they want DeFi type numbers in value locked for a game when we just don't have that kind of user base yet. So you need to the incentives need to be way smaller to like build up to that level of having a game that's a DeFi level of value locked. Um, and it was a really good point. So I think I'm excited to see. I know the foundation just did an AMA today with FTM alerts, so it is something that I'm excited to kind of watch tonight, because it was an AMA based on community questions, and I know the community wanted to know about what is going on with NFTs.
Yeah. Yeah, and South said, they do have those incentives for GameFi, and pointing out that kind of the expectations may be a little high. I think it's a tough balance for the foundation, both on the DeFi side and the NFT side. But it's what are the metrics that you need before somebody gets support? And because we don't have the biggest user base right now, we're trying to attract the user base. I think that I think teams need support earlier on. And I think there's plenty of safeguards that before the foundation or anybody gives out grants for money, I think they can put out plenty of safeguards in the NFT space, especially like docs teams only, some very thorough investigation or documentation needed for their backgrounds, the legitimacy if they're developing a game. It's
Mhm.
not just about being a good artist, but it's like, do you actually have the ability to do this? And so I think there's a lot of ways they can do it where they could support a team early on, give them the funding they need to actually bring over the users versus just waiting, kind of like on the TVL game where they don't give a project money until they've already proven it. I think it's hard to do that in GameFi. So hopefully, excited to see what happens. I'm glad they're at least starting to have the conversation. That's a great starting point. So
Yeah, no, this is great. Speaking of GameFi, sitting back watching kind of the market in NFTs, I feel like we are going through a bit of an adjustment into um, people are getting creative with the new ways that NFTs can be used. Music, I think this year is going to be massive. What I have been seeing more recently is some writings. So we have some authors that are starting to come into the space. Uh, what are your thoughts this year on like the NFT space in general? Do you think we're gonna have like a? Do you think music and some other avenues are gonna be start kicking in big?
so yes, I definitely think this is the year on Phantom, especially, but just in NFTs in general, where music and art blend together. I'll go back to like Mike Shinoda's project on Tezos. He's got this awesome project where basically it's like 5,000 something generative images. So it has, they're the ziggurats. So awesome collection. But then it's also 5,000 generative songs. Now, every song is almost the same. It's just certain things with the beat that's different, or like in the middle of the song when it's just like a musical solo part. And I don't know musical terms at all, but all I know is the song sounds sick. And we've got, I know that I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how Limit Break and SEPTA with their upcoming collection are incorporating the music, but it sounds like a similar thing,
Yeah.
which those are going to be the projects that revolutionize things, because you take great art that stands on its own and then you pair it with an experience on the music side where if you get a different image you also get a slightly different track. uh, I think that it raises everything. It raises the bar on PFP projects, raises the
Mhm.
bar. It shows musicians that there is a potential to make a living and to do something different and special. And so I'm really excited because Illuminati Congo came to us and he said, "Hey, I wrote a potluck song and I would
So
like."
good.
Yeah, he's like, "I got a potluck song. I've included a lot of different, references to the different projects and things. I'd love to figure out a way to maybe just do like a little collection with it." And I was like, "No, man,
Yeah.
we need to do this like the Ziggurats. We got to figure it out.
Mm.
We got to do it where we compare it. So you actually have the PFP image with the Ziggurat. So it's not like you get a video file where you have to listen to the song. It's just you could download the image, you can put that as your PFP, you can just do that, or you can pull it up on the site and you can listen to the track. That's how it works. So talk with him about, hey, can we do that? Can you get a producer or somebody on the music side to make 1,000 different versions of this? Like, could we make that happen? And he said, yeah, let's do it. And so I'm not sure. Originally, we were looking at doing it with Necro's project, but I think time wise and maybe fit wise, we'll probably do a different one. But either way, whatever project it lands with, hopefully, along with the Southern Empire and what they're doing, we can kind of usher in a new age of, just an awesome experience, because it's all about the experience. It's not like some new utility. It's just, man, this is a new experience for the users and collectors, and hopefully it brings in a lot of people. I think Illuminati Congo, he's not as big as like a Snoop Dogg, but man, he is huge in the NFT world. He's got NFTs on over 20 different chains, I believe. Been a accomplished musician, and so having someone like that bring attention and do something unique for the first time like this on our chain, I just think that's some potluck alpha for today right there. I think it's going to be special.
Yeah, it does feel like timing this is beautiful because we've got I mean, with the understanding the jukebox and the amount of talent that is in that, they're working with the Phantom Menace DAO on trying to build like almost like a platform for music NFTs. Um, this stuff gets all real exciting. But I am super intrigued to see where it all goes because like I said, I'm starting to see like authors start coming into the space now. And then the idea that the Pink Flamingos, they've got this cool thing with their lore where it's like a community written lore. So you got a page, somebody writes a page, the next person pays Phantom to write the next page, and then you can continue out the story almost like a family tree. But somebody else could take the story a different route. Uh, so it starts to become like this choose your own adventure book that is written by the community within a project. And I think that becomes a really interesting concept.
I mean, that doesn't become an interesting concept. That already is. That's pretty incredible. Like, I'm
Yeah.
excited about that. I think what would be really cool. I just had this idea, so this is alpha. We can spitball it. But what if we did a project where maybe you take our current art, and whichever artist of ours wanting to participate, you can take current art from any potluck one. Somebody could pay a small amount, 2 Phantom, 5 Phantom, whatever, and go off of that and change it, modify it, add a layer, come up with your own version, and then
Mm,
have the next person do it, the next person do it. And then what we'll do is maybe on the different projects, then we could end up doing, maybe there's a generative based on that. Maybe it's a small collection based off of that. And then giving the community, all the artists who participated, they just get to share all the profits.
mm, interesting. Interesting.
Hmm.
Some community building aspects too.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Maybe.
this is
Maybe it's a
shoot.
labs mint. Maybe they mint with labs tokens. And then the profits are just everything that people put in and paid that just gets,
Mm,
paid split back out. And then what happens is all these community artists are now able to have their name on a big piece of work that lots of people own because they were able to pay with the labs tokens.
yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
Interesting. I love spitballing. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this space goes. And again, the whole concept of potluck is just build a big enough brand that we're just building a massive community that everybody else wants to tap into. Because again, that we had the question on Twitter today. Somebody asked, like, are there potluck projects that have utility, or are they all kind of PFPs? And it's like, well, the PFP art is the focus, but what do
Yeah.
you want? You want a stake for a utility token? We got that. Do you want a stake for an ERC20 token? That's coming. Do you want Gamefly? We've got partnerships. You
Yeah.
know, you name it, we're trying to bring it. And then the idea of as soon as a multi-swap chain goes live, now assets are bridging. Now the arbitrage opportunities come in. The rarity gameplay comes in. Like, we're waiting for a lot of our value prop, like props to kick in yet. Like, we're still waiting on the chain, like the multi-swap
Yeah.
chain bridge and
I
burning
mean,
mechanisms and
we are 2 days. We've only existed for 3 months and 2 days. So give us time to build. We need like a long bear market to just like build some stuff. Now we're we're trying to move as quick as possible on everything, but you got a lot of irons in the fire and you got to prioritize what's most important. I was trying to check my email real quick, see if I have one back. I don't. Um, but also a little alpha on utility and just experience. And I post a little tweet about it yesterday with another project with neons, just augmented reality where you could take your
Mm,
NFTs and through an app on your phone, You can basically, put them anywhere you want and take pictures, take videos, and just helps with social media. It's pretty cool. So I reached out to that company, and we're looking into with Astro Kids first, and then Acid Cats, and then more of our projects if they're open to it. That was my proposal, is to bring users to their platform and then bring utility to ours, and an awesome experience that nobody has yet on Phantom. So hopefully we can make that happen. And the reason I'm saying it is I may put it out there so that we can give some positive peer pressure on their Twitter that we want to see this happen. So I think that would
Absolutely.
be pretty epic. But why don't we jump into our topics, because I have to end the show about 10 to 15 minutes early today, because I've got to watch my baby girl because my wife has to go help at the kids' school. So that's just family alpha right there.
Family Alpha, love it.
All right.
Yeah, so we got some
What,
goodies.
what's
All right,
minting?
we'll start with what's minting. I want to start with let's start with almost finished mints. So Banner Buddies for 6.9 FTM. There's only 900 of them left out of the 3,000. So that's almost done. Phantom Kittens, one of the OG projects on Phantom. It's a Brazilian team, I believe. They've been here forever. They're 84% way through the 10K mint, and it's only 4.2 Phantom. So I would love to see that project mint out. Phantomized Patronus. I love the artwork of these things.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, they're sweet.
very like the ghostly thing. It's an AI project, but there's less than 300 of them left at 25 Phantom. I have to bring up our Strange Pigs. Again, there's just over 300 of them at 35 Phantom. And then the last two, I've got Terraformers. So that's the Jake Eye
Yeah.
and Clockworky Mint. There's only 100 of them left before the airdrop comes. You can stake them on DMD. The last one I got that's almost done minting is the Alien Chonky Cats by our boy King Ephraim. There is, again, less than 300 out of the 3,000 at 3 FTM. So those are 6 mints that are real close to finishing up.
Awesome. Ask the chat, what are we missing on the mints that's still minting that you want to see mint out? Give us, post it in the chat. We'll talk about it. Yeah, I haven't actually heard anything. I don't know anything about the Phantom Kittens. So maybe it's because I don't like cats. Maybe they didn't come on my radar. But I am now a fan of Acid Cats. So
Mm.
um,
Yeah,
4.2 Phantom.
they've been around for a long, long time. Just a
That's
slow
awesome.
mint, but it is a team down in Brazil that's trying to actually like bring crypto to the citizens in the area. So
Yeah,
I love what that team's doing.
that's
There's a few
awesome,
more
man.
mints that are going on that aren't so close to finishing. World of Yamaloka, again, SEP, incredible opportunity to own SEP art and what they're building with the game coming and stuff. That's huge. Sweet Tango Zone. It's one of the most developed projects I've seen so far on Phantom. You have your little 3D buddy that they can play around the playpen, and again, that's an awesome project that is super underrated. Got to mention Slothtopia. I don't know how Slothtopia isn't minted out yet. Everybody's got to support that. And then my last two are Phantom Academy of Magic by Roshang Zhao. I think that project is awesome. Love what she's doing. The art is incredible. So that's another one that's kind of slowly minting. And then Shroomies, our scavenger hunt friends. They're one of my favorite teams because they partner with like every project. I've seen
Yeah,
their little scavenger hunts in so many different projects, and it's so cool that again, I love the idea that a different team tries to bring a utility and value to another team's NFTs.
yeah, yeah. I love that. The crypto worms, the HD worms. We got to
So
mention them,
nice.
dude. They're incredible. Like,
That art is
I mean,
wild.
if you like pixel art, then the original crypto worms, absolutely awesome. Like, just amazing. If you like hand drawn looking, I mean, they don't look generative. They all look so different. I have no idea how many traits and attributes and everything there are, but it's a lot. because they just look crazy different and they're just so fun. And it's not a one Phantom price point like the last one. It's a little bit more, at 5 Phantom, but it is still enough where, man, you can really onboard some people at a pretty low price point, give people a great first NFT. And I'm excited about them. I'm bullish. I think they're delivering, and they're making the mint fun. They're giving back some, doing some giveaways at certain mint markers, and so they're almost at 2,200 mints, I believe. So doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of
Um,
intrigued to see. I noticed I was going through my new HD worms, and I got one of the Ninja Turtle ones. So I'm intrigued to see if I can actually pair up some of my Pixel ones with like almost like an HD version of it.
yeah, yeah. I think
Uh,
I don't know. There's a lot. I'm excited to see when the whole collection's out there, and you can just look through and you can find like the twins, the HD twins for your current ones,
yeah,
because that's when I'm going to be poor. I'm minting some, but I'm really holding back because I've got like 70 worms still. So I'm holding back to wait and see, like, once a bunch of paper hands put these on secondary and allow me to like pick up the ones that match my current ones. That's what I want to do. And then, make some PFPs where they're both together. Be fun. Dino Gang still minting. That's an amazing
yes.
project. Art is incredible. Dino King has been one of the premier leaders of the Phantom NFT space, and that project definitely deserves our support. That's for sure.
I see South in the chat. He brings up the Beach Squalor team. So if you haven't heard Beach Squalor is like bringing film to NFTs on Phantom. Uh, Now I think that they're minting on the Theater DAO launchpad.
Yeah.
Which, while we're talking about what's minting, let's bring up Launchpads. If you are an artist and you don't want to do the development team and you just want to go through a Launchpad, we got options now. Dark Matter DeFi has a Launchpad. NFT Garage is a new one. Theater DAO. I see Crown Labs, which is the new one that started up with the Pixel Doodle Punks and Phantom Bunch team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got options for artists to get their art out to market now.
Yeah. And I would tell any artist, like, if you're willing to put in the work on Twitter and Discord of building a community, and like that, here's what you need. You need to use a Launchpad, and you need to put in the work of building a community, like all the work it takes, interacting on Twitter for weeks. I hate to see projects that launch their Twitter launches the same week as their project, which means, and not, sometimes it's an individual, like Edge Technician had his own, and then he created the Narwhal Twitter and stuff. So he was kind of operating on both. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when I've never heard of these people, I haven't seen them. We have a brand new Twitter and the project comes on. That shows me that they see this as, I have not taken any time to invest in this community, but I'm going to try to get something from the community. But I think we are set up now where you can literally, like Dark Matter DeFi's Launchpad, all these launchpads that you have out there, like, you can literally just come onto the scene, build relationships, and then produce your art for free and build something. And so it's never been an easier time for an artist to build something, but it still takes work. Like, you can have the best art out there, a great launchpad with a great minting experience, and it could utterly fail because you didn't invest the blood, sweat, and tears into building a community. And that's what NFTs are about. I would say across every chain, if there's one thing that makes an NFT project successful or not successful, it's community or lack thereof. That's it. So that's my opinion.
No, you're spot on, and that does come from blood, sweat, and tears is a great way to put it, because there's it's a lot of time when you're in Discords doing, like, you're literally in Discord groups doing AMAs while I'm on Twitter Spaces doing AMAs with other communities. Like, this is the kind of shit that goes into getting eyes on a project. And so there's, like I said, the launch pads are incredible and it's an amazing opportunity. But for artists that are using them, there is some work to do. It is very much about building the community around it.
Yeah. And so that's not, just so everyone knows, I am 100% supportive of launch pads. I think they're incredible. I think most
Yeah,
projects,
damn
like
right.
most artists, should use them. Don't try to learn it on your own. Just use a launch pad. Like, it makes total sense. I'm just saying, don't just think, okay, we have good art, and there's buyers on Fantom. I can use a Launchpad and we're going to be successful. Like that's missing a major component. And I've seen some projects recently, not on Launchpads per se, but just projects in general, just launching with great art and totally flopping
Yeah.
just simply because they missed that step. All right, these next two, let's kind of just blend this into one conversation here
Yeah.
on these next two, the underrated generatives and underrated artists. And I'll just kind of let you spitball these.
All right. So underrated projects, some really cheap ones. I just Zombie Society, Hex, Yokai Chain. They've got the tools that they're building around their project. I think is going to be super handy for the next kind of NFT bull run that Phantom's going to experience. So I love Yokai Chain. The pink flamingos. I'm pretty sure you can get a pink flamingo on Phantom for under mint price right now, and that to me is insane because it's literally a historic NFT. So yeah, I'm gonna say pink flamingos. Pepe tarot cards, one of my favorite OG projects. I just love it. And then I'm gonna run into underrated artists. Big Bush Doctor. I just love Bush Doctor as a human, as an artist. Uh, Aspenth, love what that guy is doing. I think it's going to be a huge benefit to our ecosystem in terms of this whole documentary that he's building. Uh, and he's got some projects that are trying to fund that. So go mint your Contagions and the Spiritopoly because that's kind of helps fund the documentary. Uh, I got Chas Guy, one of my favorite artists. I've been seeing videos. He's just such an awesome vibe. I love just scrolling through his Twitter, seeing him dancing on his feed and stuff. Uh, so I really like Chas Guy. And then my last two are Lucky Luciano of the Bit Demons. I had an AMA with him. He's just such a great dude. So I
Hey,
love him.
that's Dr. Luciano to you.
Right, you are correct.
Doc.
And then I gotta bring up Egg Emporium. You mentioned it. The that those videos that they're putting out for these physical eggs. I just seen we got the NBA goats coming out, and that was a great way to play it. I like the LeBron, Kobe, Jordan. I can deal with that. Uh, but yeah, I'm super excited about that project.
Yeah, incredibly talented. I think I just love when I see artists. It's just like Cavarters, these cross like multi-medium talented artists. Same with Aspen. You have there's lots of them. So you have all these artists who it's like, man, I had them in my head. They could do this type of art, but then you see, what they're capable of. It's like Cavarters. I don't know when he's up for auction at Two Mans. I don't
Mm,
know if I want the physical more or the NFT more. Like a lot of times, I'm
right,
like, I just want that physical sculpture because that is incredible. I'll
right.
take the NFT with it because it's also nice. But like, I'm going to buy this because the physical. Well, the egg, same thing. Like, I want that egg. The NFT is cool, but then it's also like, but I also want that video, like the video NFT
Yeah.
they made. The one for the Umans, incredible, and then this one is so awesome. And at some point, I think they're doing a potluck theme one because they had me send them all the art assets. So, yeah, that will be. I guess I'll have to be bidding against like Grazzy on that one because he just buys. If it has anything Astro Kid themed, him and Trippy Steve will buy it. But if it doesn't, I might get lucky. Um, but yeah, I think there's so many underrated artists. I love what Keep It Lunatic just did. Um,
Yes.
like he went right off the bat releasing a really cool one-on-one collection that will give you free mints of his future generatives. It was just kind of a way to get his foot in the door. He did it a unique way, and it sold out like crazy. It was awesome. And then Danetron is really doing something unique with all his one of ones and the airdrops and like special potions and things. And now with his generative coming out soon, tying that in as well. We've been looking at the roadmap, and I think it's just really special. And and you say, how is this guy underrated? I think Teens on Acid is still highly underrated.
Yeah.
I do believe Acid Cats and Astro Kids are going to be future blue chips. When we say future blue chips, that doesn't mean like, oh, they're popular on Twitter. That means the value of them will match up to what the popularity is. And so I think that you just hodl those. Yeah, I wouldn't try to quick flip them. I would buy and hodl. Put those in a wallet that you don't remember the password to for a long time.
Go
So
scoop up
that's what I've
those
got
Matic
planned.
ones. Yeah, go scoop up those Matic ones. These are these arbitrage opportunities before the bridge goes live. It's like, holy shit. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. All right, let's go on to GameFi.
Okay, so speaking of GameFly, you brought up a couple big ones. So Tank Wars, this is kind of like I want to say the big money GameFly. We got Tank Wars, which is killing it. They're putting out updates all the time. Tank floors keep rising. I seen a legendary this morning go for 2,800 Phantom. That's a great project. And then the newer one that I seen pop up recently is Penguin Carts. So again, highly developed game. It's got a big team behind it. I haven't had any of the gameplay yet for that one, so I haven't tried it. But they've got a token that is doing really well, and there's some backing to that one. So I'm looking forward to that. And then to run through, okay, big project that is coming out very shortly. Luckily enough, I got a couple Gen Zero characters, but the Lost Kingdom. So Stephen Vinyl has done the music on the website, but this is going to be like a full on game. Um, I don't want to say it's like World of Warcraft, but I don't know. This is gonna be a full on game where your character, you're gonna be able to use your characters. I see they're auctioning off or like giving away the bad guys. So they make like a boss monster, and then they'll actually give away that NFT. So you have the opportunity to own like the bad guy in the game. Um, so I think that is going to be massive. And again, that's a game that'll bring a ton of users into the ecosystem. And then just to run through a couple of our other ones, like Slothtopia, I think is massive. That's our metaverse. This is huge in terms of having community events, galleries, auctions, all kinds of stuff. So Slothtopia, huge. And then my favorite of our kind of like original ecosystem ones with our small teams, I love Pocket Pals. I literally make sure I train my Pocket Pals every day. I get a couple fights in. I usually have like 150 notifications of challenges, people trying to drain my Fanties. But that I just love what that team is doing. They have a TV where you can literally just watch the live TV, and it just plays the duels as they go. And everybody that's watching the TV at the same time is watching the same duel at the same time. So it's literally like esports in NFTs. Uh, and then I'll finish off. I am such a big Fantomon fan. Larkin, the developer behind that, so he's behind Scully's, Phantomons. He's with the Deliland team. Incredible developer. I know he's starting to put some work into the PVE and PvP battles for Phantomons. So as soon as we can start battling Phantomons, the FOMO is going to be insane on that project. And then I'll finish it off with two of our lovely partners. I haven't played Bobbleheads yet, and I'm super excited to try it. But I'm a big fan of weaponized countries. I try to join in as many tournaments as I can. Um, but yeah, man, we got some great games on Phantom. I'm super excited.
Man, and we didn't even name, like, I'm literally over here while you're going through those. I'm going through my Twitter trying to find, but I comment on way too many things. I like too many things, so I can't even freaking find it. But there's been a few projects just pop up that's like one looks like a Mario Kart like racing game. Um,
Mm.
don't know what it is, but it literally looks like that quality and it looked amazing. And it was play to earn. And so whatever that is, I will play that. I'll play me some Mario Kart racing games to earn. So um, yeah, I'm excited for like any first. I don't even know. I guess the whole point for me of these things being on chain or having some aspect on chain is for you to own the items. So unlike
Yeah.
in Fortnite where you have to rent it and you never have ownership, that it actually really pours the billions of dollars of profits back into the players. And I'm sure, yeah, the companies should make money and everything. That's of course, I mean, we make money when we do things. All companies should, but seeing people be able to like actually have the wealth for the time they put into it is what really excites me. So I'm definitely excited to see games that are like first person shooters, games that are racing games, games that are, RPGs, like you mentioned, like World of Warcraft style. I think that those are the type of games when built on chain, giving people ownership of the items that they find or they buy in game. I think is incredible. And I think if you treat those just like an NFT marketplace, where when they resell those items, they resell them in a percentage of that goes in royalties to the game. I think it's a totally fair system. So I'm really, really excited. And I don't even think those games need to be played on chain. I think that the
Right.
gameplay itself can be off chain, but the transactions of the items can be all on chain. And so I think that there's a lot to be done there. And I think it will
Well,
happen. And I think it's going to come quicker than we think.
so I'll drop my little alpha. I'm having a conversation with Collect a Can. So Collect a Can's like kind of he's part of the Feeple team. They're kind of working on a lot, but his buddy is getting ready to launch a PVE zombie first person shooter game and looking to launch like April 2nd. And I'm watching the gameplay video. It looks like a lot of fun. Uh, so like, again, games on Phantom. This year is gonna be fun, man, because again, music coming in. We got writing that is coming into the space. Gamefly is gonna be massive. Like it is gonna be so much fun to just to constantly be searching for these opportunities and to educate people on these opportunities.
What's that zombie game called?
Oh, I don't know if it's
Okay,
named yet.
that's all right. Tweet about it when you find it. That's another one I saw. I saw the racing game and the zombie shooter game, and I said, okay, these are games I'd play. That's the type. I love supporting artists who play who have like card games and some of these
Mhm.
different even the Phantom on Trainer cards, these different things. But my type of game is just like shut your brain off and shoot some stuff.
Yeah.
So I am so excited for those. And then for like a 12-year-old in play to earn to beat me and steal all my Phantom, that's what's going to happen. So,
Oh, man, I
um,
know how much my little brothers have spent on Roblox and Fortnite skins. Like they understand the idea of NFTs and this skin being rare because it's only in season 3. To have ownership of those assets and to be able to sell them off again, because some of these games are gonna be massive. Some of these open world metaverses are just gonna continue to bring users in and just get bigger and bigger. So 10 years down the line, like a game like Roblox, for instance, because it's like an almost open source and people keep building, there's no reason that game can't last 20 years, 30 years and continue to build users because it's being updated by the community essentially. So that's how I see the future of these metaverses. So they're going to continue to bring users. So all of a sudden, your 12-year-old son today who is buying skins for one of these games, now all of a sudden when there's 50 million users 10 years from now, there's their college fund because they had these assets that were in the beginning of this game. Like to me, that is just a crazy concept because now kids are getting paid for their time to be playing all these games, and it changes the whole debt. Like every child going into debt to go to school. Um, like I just think this literally is like economy changing.
I know, I know it's exciting. I mean, and play to earn for me, I don't, I mean, for me, I'd rather just do DeFi. I'm like, hey, just do DeFi. But the ability for kids, it is the next big thing, I think, for these kids to actually not just pour in tons of their parents' money, but to actually be able to make a good living, and not just a few and the people who are really good like YouTube stars, but for just
Yeah.
the average person to be able to play, to earn, to get a good skill set at a game and then make a living. Like that's kind of crazy concept because it's typically just
Mhm.
reserved for the few. And I think that's a great thing about crypto is you take the abilities, you take the access to wealth, which we like to believe in America. Everybody who works hard has an opportunity in America in our society to do well. But you know what? It's not an even playing field. Not in America, not in this world. It's not an even playing field. And I love that crypto doesn't care about anything except for the code. And so it truly is. If you have access and knowledge, you can make something of yourself. So these games, to me, all it is just another opportunity for people to change their lives. And there'll be a lot of good actors, and there'll be some bad ones. And at the end of the
True.
day, um, it's all about how you use the technology. So I'm excited. But real quick, wrapping up with Labs projects. So a lot to discuss on that. It's hard to do it quickly, but basically with the pigs, what we've done is, we're over 700 minted. We've been hesitant. We don't want to really stop the mint because the fourth, we may open up secondary market, just allow people to trade here pretty soon, but I don't think we're going to stop the mint. And that's because Gen 4, the Strange Gods, will have a burning mechanism where you can burn one of the first 3 generations to create a strange god. And so we want, people to have the opportunity at that point to still be able to mint or to buy off secondary, whatever's a better deal for them. And then we also, to kind of help that process, we paid and partnered with a Tezos artist and had him make 10 video files of the pigs. And so we put those into the mint. And because we did this afterwards, we didn't have, and we were switching devs and stuff, we didn't have the metadata hidden. So what we've done is the pigs are done. All the video files say what number they are. So we can't like fake this later. They say which file it is. But what we're going to do is as people mint them, we'll update the metadata to swap their regular one for one of the MP4 files. And those will be some of the rarest ones. And not only that, but you also, if you mint one of those, you get your mint price refunded to you. So that's a pretty awesome thing we're doing. Then Old Blood, we've got under 400 left. We did the same thing. We had 10 of those video files made there as well. And we also have the Zoe 1 of 1 from Nature's Oracle and Witch's Oracle. She made the Witch of the Cave, which is a beautiful piece. Probably not safe for work. Had as my PFP for a few days. My wife was wondering what that was all about. And I just said, hey, it's a witch. I'm not cheating on you, but it's a witch. So it is what it is. So those are all left in the mint. That's 30 Phantom. And or no, is it 30? What's the price on that? 30 Phantom, 25. Yeah. I don't know, something there. 30, I think. And then Dead Family on Avax. So we got Dead Family on Avax, and we also have Creatures of the Cave too. And then we have Super Serums on Avax. We are about to, we're doing a special, like basically going to be unveiling our website, just part of it, the minting process part, for people to be able to mutate their super serums. And so really excited for that experience, which will be coming later this week, I believe. And Q is working really hard, him and Nino working really hard on that. And so as soon as we can do that, I expect these AVAX super serums to start going like crazy as people see the art and then realize there's a SEPTA. Out of the 100 pieces on AVAX, there's a SEPTA. And so I think there's 70 left. So I would definitely be scooping those. But back to Dead Family on AVAX, we lowered that supply so that the supply between AVAX and Phantom, because it's going to be bridgeable, is a total of 1,000. So there's 254 total on AVAX, leaving us with basically 160 to go. And then we took all the 1 of 1s that would have been higher in the mint, and we reshuffled them. So they're all going to be in that next 160. All the ones that, would have been cut off, everything's been moved. I think there's 5 or 6 1 of 1s left out of that 160. And so super excited about that. So those are, what's minting. I don't know. Did I miss anything, or we pretty much hit it?
No, that hit it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. The Dead, like, there's a lot. I'm just so excited for our website launch. Yeah, it's really gonna kind of help solidify us a bit. Yeah, I'm excited for this.
Okay, well, that was my wife saying that I went over my time like I knew I would. And so time to go watch my baby girl. So I'm excited, man. Hey, great week. We'll talk with you later for Tinfoil and Potluck Labs. This has been NFT Alpha. Like it, share it. We'll see you next time.
Ciao, ciao.